Shalom, family. Most High in Christ bless. How's everybody doing? Shalom, shalom. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. So we're going to pick up where we left off last week. And don't worry about Officer Yafim. He just got a little bit lighter. He all right, though. He good. He good. Let's start with Romans 15:4, so we don't forget the point.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So we know whatever things were written in the scriptures, Old Testament, New Testament, Apocrypha, they were all written for our learning, that we could use those same lessons today. The positives, the negatives, everything that happened in the scriptures was written down because we needed to learn from those things. Keep reading.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
So patience and comfort, because the Most High knew we would need comfort in times of affliction. In any type of affliction, and the one we're talking about particularly now is the threat of famine, the threat of insurrection, the threat of war that's going to be happening here in America. That's going to be happening to our people. Is there more on that?
No, sir.
All right, let's go to jump to Isaiah 29, because we didn't touch on this last time. Of course, right now we're preparing for what's going to be a physical famine. But before, that's why when we read Ezekiel 37 last week was so important about the dry bones coming to life, because for a long, long time, we were in a spiritual famine. And now that we're learning who we are, we're teaching who we are in the States, across seas, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in the UK, South America. It's so important because at one time, all of us forgot who we were. Read Isaiah 29 and start at verse... Actually, go to 20. What do I want? Yeah, 29 and verse 11. 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
So the Most High put upon us the spirit of deep sleep, not meaning we was in the bed and couldn't wake up. He put us spiritually to sleep so we wouldn't know who we are as a people.
And hath closed your eyes.
So he closed all of our understanding. That's why for so many years, none of us knew who we were. We thought we was African Americans, Afro Americans, Gentiles. We was taken into the fold, but we're not really the people. Those are things that we believed upon.
The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered.
So the prophets, who else?
And your rulers.
Our rulers.
The seers. Hath he covered.
So all our men of great understanding, of renown, of leadership, they were all put to sleep first, spiritually. So if our leaders didn't know who we were over amount of years, if they're not teaching that to the men under them, to the women under them, and they're not teaching that to their kids, eventually we were all going to, and we did all forget who we were. Keep reading.
Verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed.
Read that again.
And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed.
So even though in the Christian church we would read the scriptures, we couldn't see ourselves in them. We probably read through Revelation, read through Deuteronomy, read through Jeremiah, read through Isaiah, read through all the scriptures that hearken unto us. That now that in the truth we see it, but before we couldn't see it at all. We were spiritually blind to it because the Most High made it that way, because we did not keep the commandments, and that was a curse. Let's jump back. Jump back to Deuteronomy 28. Let's see why that judgment came upon us.
You want verse 15?
Yeah, start at verse 15.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
So hearken means to listen, and also follow through. Because if you hearken to something, you're going to follow through with it. Because you could listen and hear something, but if you're not really hearkening onto it, it's not taking root. It's not really, you're not going to take action on that because it's not really believable to you. So people could listen to us teach. They could hear us on the street, but if they're not hearkening onto it, there's no action that's going to follow upon that. Keep reading.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
That all these curses listed throughout Deuteronomy 28 will come upon us and overtake us, in which we knew that happened because we came here to America on slave ships. So go to jump back to Isaiah No, before that, Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Then we're going to Isaiah.
Sure.
46.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46.
So here's one of the curses. And read the 47.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So all the curses from verse 16 up to 68 shall be what?
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
For a sign and a wonder that we would know who we are. That today, when we read the scriptures, we would know who the children of Israel are today. And that's why Romans 15 and 14 are so important, because we have to go back. We have to read from Genesis back to Revelation, and front and back and in the middle, and precept upon precept, to know who we are. Keep reading.
And upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy seed forever. So these curses would not leave us and will not leave us until we repent and until Christ comes back. 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servedest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
So not only because we didn't keep certain laws, certain commandments, even somebody could have been keeping the law to the T. Read that again.
Because thou servedest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
So because they weren't keeping the laws with joyfulness, they were still breaking all the laws, because they were just doing it just because. They're like, man, I hate putting these frienders on. I hate keeping the Sabbath day. I hate eating clean meat. I hate not committing adultery. I hate doing the X, Y, and Z. So because that was in their mind,
and with gladness of heart.
We weren't joyful keeping the commandments, like we always read about every new moon in Amos. Certain of us couldn't wait. So you're keeping the feast, but you couldn't wait till the feast to be over just so you could sin. And you was already sinning in your mind right there because your thoughts. So they didn't even think that, but they was like, damn, when the feast gonna be over, so I could make the shekels, when he talks about basically jipping our people off. That's what that scripture was talking about.
For the abundance of all things.
For the abundance of all things. Keeping these laws and coming together, that should be a joyful thing to us. Go to Isaiah now, 29 and 14. I'm going to jump back there.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people.
So let's look at the marvelous work, what the Most High did. And when you hear marvelous, you think that's a good thing. Oh, man. Let's see.
Even a marvelous work and a wonder.
So a work and a wonder, like I said in 28 and 46, this is the wonder that the Most High did to us.
For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish.
The wisdom of all our wise men perished. They couldn't teach the scriptures. They couldn't teach about fringes over generation. We started teaching each other less and less and less. We started learning the heathens' ways. We became Gentiles because we took on Gentile and heathen customs. So we became as them, and at the end of the day, we stopped keeping all of our old customs. Keep reading.
And the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
Uh-huh.
Woe unto them.
That's it. Read the last part again.
And the understanding of their prudent men.
So even the wisest and the smartest of us who were scholars in the scriptures, who were lawyers in the scriptures, shall be what?
And the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
So at the end of the day, that happened because we did not keep the commandments. So now that we have this knowledge that the bishops and deacons and captains are teaching us, because the Most High put the Spirit on them, we got to take heed so we don't make the same mistakes our forefathers did. So we're going to start at Proverbs 3 and 5, and then we're going to do the Prepare for Starvation video. Because the seriousness of these scriptures, all these things were here written so we can learn from it. And our people that didn't learn from it end up getting put to death, end up getting boiled alive, end up getting tortured, end up getting thrown overboard, end up getting fed to dogs because we did not keep the commandments. Those things happen to us.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
So we got to trust in the Lord with all thine heart. And when we say that, we only think of, okay, yeah, we're going to get the kingdom, we're going to rule, but we don't trust in the things that he says that might not sound good to us. Because there's a lot of negative things written in the Bible that are going to happen to the people who don't repent, don't keep commandments, and even to the commandment keepers. Because we got to go through what Christ went through too. That's what I'm saying? Yeah, so all that is going to happen to us. So we can't just think and wonder on the marvelous things like, oh, we're going to be ruling. I'm going to have 7 wives. They're going to look like palaces. Esau going to be digging my garden for me. No, we got to know that before that, there's other prophecies in this Bible that are going to come and are going to happen before we can get there. Go and play the video.
This is where we are again. In December, the U.S. government stood in front of the American people and bluntly announced that they had defeated the supply chain crisis But of course,
Lies.
now it is clear that they have lied to us once again. We have been facing persistent shortages for months on end. Some of them emerged during the first wave of panic buying
pause real
in
quick.
2020.
And what's so crazy, which I love seeing, is that we know you got to see we're at the end of times, because we got Esau going against Esau, tearing their own kingdom down, because they mad, because they're getting treated just like us. The lower, not the upper echelons, 1%, the lower class Edomites, they're like, hold up, y'all treating us like niggas. You're not keeping us in the loop. You lying to us. You throwing our country down the drain. So now it's a battle between them two. They fighting each other, and I just love seeing it. But Jake. Sadly, Jake is gonna get pulled into that. Jake on the Democratic liberal side, and Jake on the Republican conservative side too. They're gonna get into that, but our people, we gotta stay by these scriptures, because that's what we gotta follow. Because as it says in Deuteronomy, Christ is our governor and our king. None of these people that are elected are rulers, are true rulers.
And were never resolved up until this point. And now, the emergence of a new variant and the threat of lockdowns and businesses shutdowns are pushing things to an entirely new level. U.S. consumers have been increasingly frustrated with the bare shelves they see, and many have resorted to social media to expose the situation of their local supermarkets. From coast to coast, shortages continue to spread at an alarm.
There goes y'all man. Bare shelves Biden. Hashtag. Damn. So that's what Biden's gonna be known for. He's gonna be known for the country shutting down, for lockdowns, and for starvation. That's gonna be his legacy. Mandates. Keep playing.
Pace all across the country, but our leaders keep insisting that this is just a temporary crisis that'll be gone soon. That was the same thing they said when nationwide shortages first began to pop up in early 2020. So we shouldn't hold our breath waiting for them to fix these bottlenecks and turn things around, because that probably won't happen. The truth is that executives and experts in the food industry are sounding the alarm over more shortages and rising prices in the coming weeks as food supplies get tighter and tighter. For instance, in a recent interview with Fox News, the billionaire supermarket CEO John Katsimatidis is alerting that more supply chain disruptions are occurring as we speak, and food retailers are going to pass along increased transportation and logistics costs to consumers in the weeks ahead. The new variant is taking its toll at different levels of the supply chain, whether it's the warehouses, whether it's the selectors, the drivers, or the loaders. And as they call in sick, there are interruptions in the system, Katsimatidis said. He added that many of these interruptions will continue over the next 6 weeks as the new strain impacts the labor market. The United Refining Company owner revealed that the United States in particular is seeing the price of a wide range of products such as eggs, poultry, and beef soar to record levels because of low supply and high demand.
Hey, pause it.
The CEO also...
So before the bubble bursts and before famine really hits, it's going to be a time where you're going to be priced out even getting groceries. A gallon of water might be $100. A carton of eggs might be $50, $60. We don't know how high it's going to get. But before that happens, these are all signs of that happening. The prices are going to rise until it's going to be unbearable, and it's not going to be enough for anybody. So that's why we got to, as watchmen, we got to look out for things like these. So if you're not utilizing social media, you're not utilizing YouTube or the Newsbreak app and other platforms that have less filters than the regular Fox, CNN, or whatever, you're not doing your job as a watchman for your family or for your nation. It don't matter if you're single or you're not married. You can still talk to your brothers. You can let leadership know certain stuff that you might see that we might not see.
Oh, not even that. When you're looking for food and you're prepping, even if you go on Amazon, you can, people that are low income families that are on like they would say welfare, food stamps, or EBT, they're taking EBT cards on Amazon. Snap. So that's telling you right there what's going on. If they have to use Snap to get rice, beans, and all that, you can buy that stuff on Amazon. That's a sure sign right there as well.
Yep. Keep playing.
Highlighted that price hikes and supply chain shortages have been exacerbated by the surging cost of oil, which is necessary for transportation. And retailers are likely to pass on those higher costs discreetly but effectively.
Damn.
Let's say food retailers normally sell 10 million pounds of chicken. They figured if they raised the price 10 or 20 cents, some people will buy less chicken, and the people that really want to buy the chicken, it'll be there for them to buy. Noted Katsimatovs. That increase will be added to the almost 20% increases in food prices.
All right, we can move on. Thank you. Get 2nd Ezra 14 and 13. So that page, I forgot what this page is called. What's the name of the YouTube page? Epic Economic. I can't say that word. Economist. So that's one of the many YouTube pages that you can watch, and that'll have a lot of videos to show what's really going on in the States and outside of the States too. And everything that he's bringing out is from prophecy in the scriptures. That's a lot of white people who, because they even claim they're Christians, but a lot of white people, they rely more on, media platforms like that, like him, Alex Jones, who else? Canadian Prepper. There's other platforms that, the conservative side and people who are preparing for the famine, what they use. But us, we got the scriptures that's letting us know. And of course, with the scriptures, like we use secular books, we use secular resources too that back up the Bible, because if it's backing up the scriptures, then we know the Most High had that set up for a purpose. He didn't have people. Everything is ordained by the Most High God. Every man's way is led by the Most High God. So he didn't have these people here just for no reason. He knew that when he created us, he knew that this day, when we're bringing these classes out, there will be something called the internet, something called YouTube, where we can use these resources to show our people visual examples, because we can't see the famine that Joseph went through. We can't see the famine that's coming, but we can see visual examples to help put that in our minds.
So that means the Most High was always preparing as well, meaning that's what we should do. Always be in the scriptures, always preparing our houses, preparing for the famine to come for our families. Read that.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 13.
So this is a commandment. This is not a suggestion. This is not a advice. This is a commandment to follow.
Now therefore, set thine house in order.
So that's a commandment. Us men, we have to set our house in order, meaning we got to prepare for what's coming, because if when this famine hits, and none of us know how bad it's going to get, so we have to constantly get in order. But if you're not doing anything or doing the bare minimum, you're out of order as a leader and as a prophet, as a watchman, because you're not doing your job. Cue up the definition again for watchman while he's reading.
And reprove thy people.
And so first set thy house in order, then you can reprove your people. Then you can go out to teach, because if not, you just being a hypocrite. Because you're not. That's what the Pharisees did. That's why we got to make sure we don't follow the same footsteps as them. We got to be doing what we're saying. You got it? All right, put that up for me. Scroll up a little bit. Yep, and then click on the drop down for synonyms. So it says watchman, a man employed, so the Most High employed the children of Israel, the leaders, to look after an empty building, especially at night. So we know the nation of Israel, we was asleep, we was dead, our eyes was closed. So he employed us to watch over his people that are now waking up. Synonyms: guard, custodian, doorman, caretaker. We have some more synonyms than that. Click on steward. I can scroll down and go to Miriam. Go back. And go to Miriam. Should be right below it. Yeah. There we go. They got the better definitions, synonyms. Go up to the definition real quick. A person who keeps watch, a guard. All right, go to synonyms. Custodian, guard, guardian, keeper, lookout, minder, sentinel, sentry. So that means you should be seeing things before it even gets close to the gate, gets close to your people. You should be spotting things 100, 200 yards out before it's even a threat. That's what a sentry does. A sentry is on the outskirts of whatever it's protecting or watching. Warden, warder, watcher. So we got to be watching the news. We got to be watching the things that are going on in America that are lining up with the scriptures and the famine that is to come. All right, we go with the definition. Jump to, we touched this last week, but we're going to touch it again. Jump to Revelations 1:1. Revelations 1:1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So the revealing of Jesus Christ, because, revelation means to reveal.
Which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
So to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass, and God's example of shortly and our time of shortly are completely different, because these things unfolded and are unfolding over thousands of years still.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
So he sent it with a trusted person. He sent it and he stamped it by his angel unto John. So not only was just the image of Christ and what Christ looked like put in here for us, other things was put in here for us too. Go to 19 and 10. Revelation 19 and verse 10.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have...
This is Christ talking.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus, worship God. For the testimony of Jesus is a spirit of...
Start again.
Verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant.
He said, I am thy fellow servant.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus.
Worship God.
So the testimony of Jesus is to worship God for what?
For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy.
So it says the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So anytime we're reading prophecies out of the scriptures, that's relating back to Jesus Christ. So whenever we talk about Christ, whenever we talk about getting the kingdom, we talk about the famines, we talk about anything in these scriptures, the spirit of prophecy relates back to Jesus Christ. So those things were revealed. So just like the image of Christ was revealed to John and was sent to reveal to us, the prophecies were supposed to be revealed to us as well. Okay, go to Hosea 1 and 10. Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that
this was going to happen.
That in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
So it was said to us numerous times. We were always told, we niggers, we African Americans, we Afro Americans, we're black. That's basically saying we're not God's people. And even today, when we're teaching that we're God's people, we're still getting told we're not God's people.
That in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
So when we were told that,
there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Here is going to be said that we are the sons of the living God. And that's happening at a slow rate. A lot of people still don't believe it, but amongst our people, a lot of people are repenting, and a lot of heathens are getting scared too and trying to cleave, especially Esau and Ishmael. They do, I think, the most cleaving from what I've seen. Ishmael does a lot of cleaving because they know that we're related. Like, oh, we cousins. We have to go against the white man. Nope. Y'all enslaved us too. So y'all getting it just like y'all gave to us. Y'all getting it right back. Revelations 12 and 14. 12 and 14. So this prophecy is going to come to pass too.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
And who was the woman? We went over this last week. Who was the woman? Who? Okay.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
And who's the great eagle? Okay.
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is.
So now we're physically in America. So the great eagle represents Esau, but originally it was Rome. But now the place that we're at is in America because they're all connected. Esau from America, Rome, Spain, Germany. Where else are they at? Russia. All those European countries. Where else? Netherlands, they're all Edomites, all in the same, they're in the same spirit and the same mindset, unlike us. They all have one agenda, to destroy us. So read that she might what?
That she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time.
So we were nourished for a time.
And times. And half a time.
And if you go back to verse, you don't got to read it, but verse 6, this equals up to 350 plus years. So we was nourished. So we was given food, we was given water, we was given clothing, we was given vehicles, we was given what's the thing when they hire you because you're black? No, affirmative. We was given we was given affirmative action. We was given plenty of things. Read that again. For where she is what?
Where she is nourished.
Where she is nourished, meaning what?
For a time.
No, hold on. What does that mean, nourished? Okay, but what about the ED part? Yeah, we gotta go back to grammar class. Go ahead. Brother, I know, Ryan, you changed your name from Ryan.
Changed it to Jesse.
Brother Jesse.
Yeah. We were nourished, so that means they did it in the past tense, but they cut it off.
Right, so that means eventually we're going to get fully cut off. All praises. From the what?
Where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a times. From the face of the serpent.
So from the face of Esau, our enemy. So it's going to come a time, and it's coming soon. He's already starting it where we're going to be cut off from that nourishment, and we're going to defend for ourselves. Go to Psalms chapter 85 and verse 11. Yeah, Psalms 85 and 11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
And what's happening right now? Read that again.
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
So right now, truth is springing out of the earth because we're out teaching and dang near every nation. And not, of course, IUIC is out there doing the work, but there are other camps also who are preaching the word too. Because there's a scripture that says you can't do anything against the truth. So even if there's some camps who might be teaching a little bit of off doctrine or might not be all the way there, they work waking up people, let them know that Israel, that's a work enough. Because some people don't know the Israel law and are going to die without ever knowing or repenting, without ever believing, let me say that, without ever believing and repenting fully that they're from Israel. So that, like those 7 churches back in the day, there's multiple camps now that are teaching. And anything that you're doing, or even if you try to do something against the truth, it's for the truth. And then brothers that went to CNN thinking they're going to go against us, who knows how many people that woke up? That could have waken up hundreds of thousands of people, or still can wake up more people than that, because they see that. A lot of times they know, people know that any type of pro-black group or anything pro-black is going to be slandered in the media. Just like with the Black Panthers, what was them young group of Puerto Ricans? The Brown Beret. Anything that we do for our people is always going to get slandered in the media because we know our enemies, Esau, and more specifically Amalek, control the media. Because most TV stations come from 5 main stations that own all the other sub networks. Read that again.
Verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
Read that again.
Verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
Okay, so let's jump to, we're done with that. Now we're going to, we read Ezekiel last week. Let's jump to Revelation 11 and 8. 11 and 8. It's another prophecy that was prophesied to happen and is happening still. Well, some of it's still coming, so that last part, a lot of brothers are going to have to beware.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 11.
11 and 8.
Oh, sorry, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And their dead bodies
So talking about Israel, our dead bodies.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
So, where's this question? What is that first part of the scripture referring to? Who can answer that question? You got the mic? So read it again for him, the first part. Shalom.
Verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
What does that mean?
As far as we being dead spiritually, Also, physically, goes back to, if I'm not mistaken, Ezekiel 37:1.
Yeah, you can use that. So, what do we not have that makes us spiritually dead? What do our people not have that make us spiritually dead here in America?
The understanding of the law.
Yeah, the understanding the keeping of the law. And the great city is talking about America.
Yeah.
Keep reading. Hold on, stay up. Keep reading.
Verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom.
So what spiritually is called Sodom, why does it say that?
Because they take on the customs of the old city Sodom, as far as the homosexual acts and what's the word? Abominable
things.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the main ones. Good job. Yes. Thank you, bro. Read that again from the top.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom.
So like the brother said, our bodies, not just, of course, we're getting shot and killed down, we're killing each other, but spiritually we're dead because we don't have the laws. In America, which is what?
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which spiritually is called Sodom because America's taken on a lot, dang near all the Sodomite customs. From Rome, from Egypt, they're taking all of it and putting it under one roof. That's why there's so many laws passed for pro-gay, pro-LGBTQ, LMNOP. I remember when I was filling out my marriage license, they had like 5 different options to pick for the bride and the groom. When you apply for jobs now, there's like 20 different options. Like it's ridiculous. We know there's only ever been 2 genders. Biblically, scientifically, like it's always been known either a man or a woman. That's it. Read that again. It's called what?
Which spiritually is called Sodom.
So we know America is filled with sodomy and lasciviousness, and it's going to get worse because in Sodom, people were getting attacked and physically raped by homosexuals. They were trying to beat down my man's door just to get to the angels. He offered up here, take my daughter. She's a virgin. They said no. We want those men. So that prophecy it's gonna get like that here in America. Like it is gonna where brothers are gonna be calling on the Me Too movement. It's not gonna be sisters saying like, damn, he got me too. That's what brothers gonna be saying. All right, and what?
And
Egypt. So how does America takes on so many customs from Egypt, from their buildings to their architecture to all of the holidays. Every holiday they celebrate in America, they got it from the Egyptians. Rome didn't start Christmas, Halloween, birthdays, all that stuff. All that came from the Hamites. America, Esau, like he does, he takes what everybody does, whether he tried to pretend to be righteous like us, or he takes the most wicked things from the other nations. All those things came from, what's my man's name? Nimrod, thank you, yeah.
But they also, their sorceries. They use that through their science here. So that's how they're just like Egypt as well.
Yep, and with their sciences, they always think that they're above God. I could do whatever God could do, I could do. Read the last part.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
Where also our Lord was crucified. But was Christ put to death in America, physically? So how was he crucified?
Shalom, sir. Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
It's talking about his image.
The image, yep.
So, like during the Renaissance era, they changed the image of our forefathers and everything. So now a lot of our people think Caesar Borgia is actually Jesus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing I say is image.
Yep.
It's been crucified here.
And what followed with that, with the changing of the image?
Doctrine.
The doctrine to all praises.
Christianity and
Yep.
everything.
And that's how they crucified Christ. They changed the image and the doctrine and everything that he stood for and taught. All praises.
Right.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to jump back or jump down. Let's get that Lord of the Flies clip 4 out of 11. Lord of the Flies.
What's going on? The reason I'm calling this assembly is too many people are screwing around when they should be working. I mean, there's a bunch of things. Some kids don't even know when to use the bathroom. Yeah, there was this one kid the other day who took a shit in his pants and then sat in it. I'm not naming names because it's possible Mikey couldn't help it. All I mean is we have to have a little more discipline. fishing. We've got to have real food. We should be hunting pigs. That's all I got to say. Anyone else want the conch?
Some jerk-off stole my pocket knife.
Yeah, things are disappearing all over. What are we going to do with thieves when we catch them? Get the Shove their dick in the
Hey, Paul, take that back 15 seconds. Go back 15 seconds. Because this is a real-life situation that some of us are going to be going through. Because when Esau shut off, when he shut off the water, when he shut off the power, plumbing, electric, when we chased out of our houses, we're going to get that later, when commandment keepers are going to be chased out of their houses, we're going to have to form little sanctuaries, little camps in the wilderness. And these are things that is going to happen. If it happened to Moses in that time, it's going to happen to us.
That's all I got to say. Anyone else want the conch?
Some jerk-off stole my pocket knife.
So pause.
Yeah.
So somebody in the camp, you woke up and your canteen of water was gone. Somebody took your canteen of water. Damn. Keep playing.
Things are disappearing all over. What are we going to do with thieves when we catch them?
So he said, pause it. He said, what are we going to do with thieves when we catch them? Pause it. So thieves referring to people who aren't following the order that was set in place, who are being undisciplined from what was set. Play.
Shove their dick in the
Bam.
We can't have kids stealing and just running wild.
Nope.
We're going to have stricter rules. And hand out demerits, I guess.
Demerits? Demerits for grand larceny?
Eat shit and die.
Hey, pause that and get Joshua 1 and I think not 1 and 8. Let me see what I want. Hold up. Go to Joshua. Yeah. Get Joshua. 1 and 16. Because order and structure is going to have to get set in place, or you can't have people in your camp who are stealing from you. First of all, you should be proving people before getting up with certain brothers and sisters. And that's why we got to rehearse the righteous acts, meaning practice proving one another now, preparing for that day when we're going to be cast away, when we're going to be in the wilderness. We got to learn to fend for ourselves, when we got to adapt and live differently than what all of us are used to living to.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 16. And they answered Joshua, saying, all that thou commandest us we will do, and whithersoever thou sendest us we will go. According as we hearkened unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee.
So the Most High set Moses in place, and then Moses set Joshua in place. So all that was ordained by the Most High God.
Only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. Whosoever he be that doth rebel against thy commandment, and will
Read
not...
that again?
Whosoever he be that doth rebel against thy commandment.
So whatever Joshua was putting forth was treated as a commandment. Why? Because he was set up by the Most High God, and he was moving in the Spirit.
And will not hearken unto thy words.
And whoever won't listen to those words, meaning whoever's going against God's commandments, whoever's not following order and structure, whoever's not doing their jobs, what they were assigned to do.
In all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death.
Damn. So brothers was getting put to death for not... it's your turn to till the corn this morning. My brother didn't till the corn. He didn't empty the stables out. He got put to death.
Only be strong and of a good courage.
Because they only wanted men, strong men, and who have a good courage, who would follow the righteous example and follow what the Most High said to do. So I'm not saying brothers are gonna have to kill people, but people have to get put out. Look, you can't be with us no more. If you bring a sin into here, I can't roll with you. Just like how brothers and sisters get put out the body for certain sins, we can't have that, because that's going to bring evil upon us if sin is in this camp, if sin is in this congregation.
That's why when y'all doing like your contingency plans and stuff like that, make sure that y'all prove those brothers or those sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because once things hit the fan, you know what I'm saying, and go haywire, that's when you're really going to see people's spirits and how they really are. All right? Through adversity. You know what I'm saying? Give me Sirach 32 and 14. Because he mentioned about discipline. We have to start disciplining ourselves now. And that's why the Most High in the beginning, he was setting, when you read it with Moses and Deuteronomy and stuff, he was setting things in order where there was captains and, into officers, and you have your, you know what I'm saying, here you have your soldiers and down. It's a reason that's put in place. So even when we have to go to different areas and we separate, guess what? It's still going to be an order there. That doesn't go away because, well, we're not longer at the school. No. It's still order that's set in place there. But go ahead, read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 32, verse 14. Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor.
You see that? So whosoever feareth the Lord will receive his discipline. Meaning what? If you're keeping the laws, right, that means that you're dealing with your brothers and sisters according to that law. You're being in order. So you're being disciplined. So if somebody say, hey, like officer said, hey, look, we need you to go till the corn. We know we ain't tilling no corn, but just saying that you need you to go till the corn as an example. We need you to do this. And you don't do that, you know what I'm saying, what you lacking in could probably hurt the group. So you have to be disciplined in order to be able to do those things. Read that again.
Verse 14. Whoso feareth the Lord will receive his discipline, and they that seek him early shall find favor.
They that seek who? The Most High. Because he said what in Hosea 5:15? They that, what, when we go into affliction, they're going to seek him. So guess what? Another part of that discipline is what? Also, you got to start fasting and praying. So you have to start preparing yourself by fasting. Because in those times, you ain't eating every single day either. So you're going to have to fast and pray. Try to get closer to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? To have that hedge. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 5.
The book of
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
So read that again.
Verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit.
So it will flee deceit. If you're disciplined, you're following the laws, you're in order, there ain't going to be no deceit in your camp amongst you. Go ahead.
And remove from thoughts that are without understanding. And will not abide.
Meaning move from thoughts without understanding. You're not going to try to do your own thing. You're going to follow the orders that's put in place. Go ahead.
And will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
Meaning what? If you're in sin, that's why I also said, look, if you're dealing in sin, they're kicking you out. Just like the Most High wisdom won't abide in you, you won't be abiding within the group. You're going to have to roll out. Because nobody want to deal with that. There's going to be too much going on, too much affliction. We're going to have to keep our heads and stay in our lane, you know what I'm saying, and have some discipline about us. Yeah.
All right. Let's get the countdown has begun.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ blessed, Deacon Abiel here. We are here in Kumasi, Ghana, and I am completely blown away. As you can see behind me, we have the new school that's in construction. It's being built from the ground up. Everybody's putting their brick in, y'all. It's your turn.
Donate, donate, donate. As you can see where your money go. We're not pocketing your money. We're not driving expensive cars. We are doing the work Most High God put in our heart to do, just like in the book of Nehemiah.
You guys out there in all the countries watching, you've been the key to this taking place. Without your donations and your help, we wouldn't be where we're at now. Do you understand? The Lord says, as you know in Ezekiel, build sanctuaries. This is the first of many, Lord's will, that we're building.
Put your brick in. We need your donations. We need your help. As you all see, this right here is fulfillment of prophecy. The scripture says that this gospel of the kingdom is going to be preached unto the whole world as a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. What you see right here is fulfillment of prophecy. Put your brick in, twiddling your thumbs. Those of you all that's not here, ain't boots on the ground, you have a way to help.
Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Today we're going to talk about the store shelves which are emptying at a rapid rate, the prices that are skyrocketing through the roof, and the looming threat of conflict potentially escalating to World War III in the Ukraine. Let's get to it.
Hey, run that back.
So due to popular demand, I'm back.
Run it
Hi
back
folks, Canadian.
And pause it with the zombies.
Prepper here. Today we're going to talk about the store shelves which are emptying at a rapid rate, the prices that are skyrocketing through the roof, and the looming threat of conflict potentially escalating to World War III in the Ukraine. Let's get to it.
Right there. So brothers that don't prepare, that's going to be y'all running from the sodomites. They're going to be chasing behind your booty just like that. If you ain't getting physically ready, if you're not getting spiritually prepared, that's going to be y'all.
So due to popular demand, I'm back here talking about current events. Once again, this is not my preference, but apparently it's either the algorithms or your guys' preference. You would much rather hear me share my opinion on my thoughts about what's going on in the world than me actually out there in the field showing practical how-to tips on how to survive this and that, and doing and learning and doing pragmatic things, okay, that are going to actually increase my odds of survival if the shizzy hit the fizzy. That's what I ought to be doing. I ought not to be here telling you how bad things are, okay? We all know things are bad.
We all know you're mad and you don't want to take it anymore.
Right? Okay, we get it. For whatever reason, you just keep coming back to these types of videos, so here it is. Here's some more bad news for you. Invasion threat looms. Ukraine asks for weapons and Canada makes evacuation plans. So I've done a bit more research on this issue, and it would appear on the surface it starts to look like NATO is talking tough, but I am getting the sense, guys, that they're basically saying to the Ukraine that you're on your own. And even Joe Biden was making all these weird comments in a press conference that he just did, talking about how, well, if they just do a little incursion, then it's not too bad. You know, we might not go in there. Basically saying, well, you can do a little, but just don't do a lot, right?
Russia will be held accountable if it invades. And it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having to fight about what to do and not do, etc.
And he also said another thing that, yeah, in the long run, a Russian invasion would prevail, but it would come at the expense of many human casualties.
Militarily, they have overwhelming superiority and as it relates to Ukraine. But they'll pay a stiff price immediately, near term, medium term, and long term if they do it.
He must.
And very.
When he was middle-aged or in his prime or however old he was, where the Soviets were basically making roads out of people. There was that one highway in the Soviet Union where they threw like 1 million guys at it to build this one road. You forget the gulags, you forget the Stalin and all that stuff. Okay, I don't think they're really too worried about the loss of human life if it means getting something. Now, guys, I'm not saying who's good or bad in this equation. We all know that if there were missiles in a country right beside us, say Cuba or Venezuela or something like that, then there would be hell to pay and it would be DEFCON 1 all over again, all right? And actually, I don't even think we've ever made it to DEFCON 1, thankfully. Right now, we're currently at DEFCON 3. Got a video coming up on that in the future, so stay tuned. But Canada is making evacuation plans. This is getting real, okay? This really escalated from 0 to 100 in a month, okay? A month ago, nobody was really talking about this. I mean, the Russians have always kind of been dancing around the Ukrainian border, but now it's getting real. There's accusations of sabotage and false flags and all the rest. And we, as a little peasantry, we don't really know what's going on because we're always going to be seeing it from our own media bias perspective. And there's always the possibility that the other side is sending us propaganda, okay? And this is what a lot of people forget, that it wasn't too long ago that the whole, hacker farms and people trying to sow division within our society, other countries trying to do that. And of course, I don't doubt that we're probably doing something similar to the Russians. So we need to keep these things in mind. We need to keep all options open, all possibilities open for what might actually be going on in the world, because the fact of the matter is we just don't know, okay? Now, all we can do, of course, as preppers is keep doing what we have been doing, and that's prepare, prepare, prepare. Now, my sense with this whole NATO backing down thing and this threat of sanctions is that look what they're sending the Ukraine. I mean, they're sending them some anti-tank missiles. They're basically sending them some stuff that they know they're going to get steamrolled through. They know they cannot defeat the Russian army. I mean, come on. That's really like the United States versus Canada, and Britain is sending us some rocket launchers or something.
So pretty much in a nutshell with that video, it's just showing how, you know what I'm saying, like Officer was saying earlier, you can't just watch Fox News and seeing they're not gonna tell you everything that's going on. When you turn on those stations, like when I'm at work or whatever, and that stuff is on the TV, all they showing is the jab and how many people's dying and you need to go get the booster and all that. That's all they're showing. But in the background, as he was saying, there's so much stuff going on dealing with the Ukraine, Russia, America, and you even heard it yourself. Canada is starting to do an evacuation plan. So if a whole state or whole country is doing an evacuation plan, but yet we're over here sitting down with our hands on our asses, not doing nothing. They're preparing, but we're over here being slothful. Yeah, looking at LeBron James, getting ready to watch who's gonna go to the Super Bowl. You know, you're gonna be asked out when the time comes.
It was funny, the whole time we watching LeBron James, and he probably got a plan for himself too.
Exactly. He probably bought one of them damn bunkers in North Dakota.
I was gonna get blown up if he don't repent. Hey, get Isaiah 14 and 12. Because eventually, a lot of these nations are going to turn, it's prophesied they're going to turn on America. All their friends, all their buddies up in the EU, they own Edomite brothers turning on them here in the States. The Edomite brothers across the seas are going to turn on them too.
The book Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
How art thou fallen from heaven?
Damn. So how art thou fallen from rulership? Because America has been ruling for a long time.
O Lucifer,
Uh-huh.
son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground?
How are you cut down to the ground? Before you was all the way up here. Now you low in the dirt.
Which didst weaken the nations.
Because we know the white man, he went through all over the world and weakened and conquered all the nations. The dark nations, they fought against each other. They got the Moabites. They got everybody out the way. Basically, any land or whatever resources they wanted, they went and they took it and they got it. So now, where it says how art thou fallen, like damn, you used to be the big bad dude. Now you a little peon. You're not even a thought no more. Keep reading.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart.
So just like in Obadiah, they say in their mind,
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars.
I'm gonna have NASA. I'm gonna have Space Link? Is that the joint? Space Link. I'm gonna have space stations. I'm gonna go to Mars. We preparing life over there, and we're gonna have oxygen. We're gonna have plants, so we can escape from Earth.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Damn.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north, friend, to North America. Esau's headquarters, of course, we know we got D.C. and New York, but the headquarters for the Edomites is the United States of America. Keep reading.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Again, so they was thinking of that thing twice. Like, damn, I'm going to pass the Most High. Whatever I do, I'm going to get past him.
I will be like the Most High.
You know, they got their space stations, they got their airplanes, helicopters. They had a lot of inventions just so they can get to the skies and try to reach the heavens. Try to reach the heaven, I should say, the Most High's heaven. Keep reading.
Verse 15. Yet thou
shalt... This is what is going to happen.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
You're going to be brought all the way down into captivity. You're going to go from rulership down to captivity.
To the sides of the pit.
Damn. Keep reading.
They that see thee shall...
So they that see thee, meaning all those other nations, all your buddies.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
They're going to be like this. Damn. You see that? See America? They got punished by them nukes. Keep reading.
And consider thee, saying...
They're going to be like, okay.
Is this the man that made...
You that dude? You the same nation that conquered the earth?
Is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
That made the earth to tremble with their bombs.
That
when they land, when they do the little cadence, when they land, they bring the troops in. Don't. When a lot of people heard them boot steps, and they know that meant death. Keep reading.
That did shake kingdoms.
That did shake kingdoms. So it's prophesied that America is gonna fall. There's no way around it. You got some? All right, let's get the next video. Let's go to. Oh, you was right, Azza. All right, let's get to. Read Leviticus 11 and 46. I think whatever the last verse is in Leviticus 11. And then cue up the K and I can't say his name. Key and Peele video. It's 46, right?
47.
47. Oh, read 46. That's what I want, I think.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 46. This is the law of the beast.
So we know Leviticus 11 showed us the law of the beast.
And of the fowl.
And of all the birds, all the fowls.
And of every living creature that
and every living creature on the earth.
That moveth in the waters.
That's in the sea.
And of every creature that creepeth upon the earth.
And what's on the earth.
To make a difference.
To make a difference, to show us.
Between the unclean.
Between what we can't eat.
And the clean.
And what we can eat. Because a lot of people who say, I keep the laws, I keep the dietary laws, a lot of people who don't prepare are going to end up breaking that law because they don't want to starve. They're going to eat chitlins. They're going to be eating raccoons. They're going to be eating buzzards. So let's see an example because Israel do this. Israel already does this. But let's see an example of what we're going to be eating. Well, not me, but people that don't prepare.
So glad we could bring this project to this neighborhood.
Oh, it's so rich in history.
I grew up in a neighborhood like this.
Oh, yeah, I grew up in a neighborhood exactly like this.
All right, welcome to Mama Sugar Banks. Y'all ready to order?
Yeah. Can I have a chicken fried steak with gravy and a cola?
I will have the baked beef short ribs with collard greens and throw down some of that cornbread.
All right, babe.
So, Paul, even my man,
you know what?
Even though he got that chicken, you know that gravy, he got pork sausage all up in that gravy. All right, keep going.
Hold up a second. I'm also going to have some of them collard greens and cornbread as well, but hook a brother up with some of them hot links.
Damn. Pork sausage.
You know what? Why am I trying to front? Scratch all that. Give me some okra and some fried red snapper. And girl, you know I want some chitlins.
All right, man.
See, he had it clean, but he had to throw them chitlins.
Of course.
Well, that's what I want. I want a plate of ham hocks, deep fried, blackened, and served on a bed of mustard greens.
Pig feet. I want some pig feet and 4 pounds of grits. And and you know what else? Give me a little Dixie cup full of lard. All right?
I just remember what I want, a bowl of mosquitoes. None of them tiny ones either. Give me them big motherfuckers you find down at the swamp.
Sister, could you please hook a brother up with a rusty bucket full of fish heads wrapped in razor wire?
Donkey teeth.
Donkey teeth.
Straight out a donkey's mouth. You know what? It. Any animal tooth will do. I want you to stick it in some honey glaze, fry it with fat back, and serve it in an old tin coffee can.
Forget everything I said up to this point right now. Bring me some dandelion greens, a cow hip, and a dog face. Wrap that whole mess in an old ebony magazine and serve it to me in a shoebox.
Okay, I want a platter of stork ankles, an old cellar door, a possum spine, and a human foot.
Damn, he got him. You can't beat that.
You want a human foot? Mm-hmm. I got just one question for y'all. You want gravy on that cellar door?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah, you got to put gravy on it, yeah.
What's a cellar door without gravy?
It's not food.
Now, keep playing. No, we got to see the last part. All right, Paul. Hey, now go back to that shot. I want to see that shot of the foot.
It's real.
We'll go back to the shot of the foot. Where is that? Not yet. Right there. Boom. So this was a comedy skit. You know, it's funny because Jake do be like, Jake eat a lot of crazy stuff. Hog maws, hog head cheese. For y'all don't know what hog head cheese is, that's actually pork brains. Hog head cheese. So somebody ever offer you that, you go over to your mom's house, you say you want some hog head cheese, say no, I'm good. That's pork brain. So yeah, so we see the man, he eating a cellar door, he got the gravy on the joint, got the barbecue, got the wire, he got the foot. So let's see what happened. Let's see what Levi was doing a couple months ago. Let's see. Let's see what our tribesman was doing. All right, so I got no words for that, but that's our brothers and sisters in Haiti, mainly the Caribbean and Africa. Our brothers and sisters from there have known famine, have known starvation, have known poverty longer than us here in the States. Here we're spoiled here in America. Even in our lowest state here in America, as our poor is different from Haiti poor and different from certain countries in Africa poor. Yeah, there's rich parts, but only certain people live in the rich parts. Just like here in America, you got rich, wealthy Jake, and you got poor Jake. In Haiti, you might have uppity, rich Levi, and you got the poor Levi. But the majority of our people are going to be what? Under the curses. So the majority of our people are going to be going through things like that. Get 2 Kings. You can get the 2 Kings 6. And then cue up, go ahead. And get a backbot bristle lumps ready.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver.
So an ass's head, that's a donkey. So you heard that on the video. So there was so much, the famine, it was so bad. There was no food. They didn't, just like here, it's going to be so bad, there's not going to be any food. So if you didn't prepare for it, some people going to be eating things they never thought that they would eat. If you got 5 dogs in your house and you ain't prepping, and things go bad, it's either you going to be eating the dogs or the dogs going to be eating you. One of the two. Go ahead.
And the 4th part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
They eating shit. So they are bringing things out to where they're turning dung or crap into food. No, I didn't get that article. So best believe people will be eating crap. I know it's hard you can't even think about that. Can't even fathom that. Like, I can't even, think about, But it happened, and it will happen again. If the scriptures, they happen in the scriptures to our forefathers, guess what? The same thing going to happen to us. So it behooves us to prepare. Go out and get your rice, get your beans, you know what I'm saying? Get your medical stuff that you may need. You know what I'm saying? Flashlights, just think of anything. You know what I'm saying? If you have to upgrade your tent in case you have to, you know what I'm saying, go out in the woods or something. You never know what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to upgrade my tent, just thinking about that. So, never know what's going to happen. You sent the article?
I just sent you the article. It's a cookie pop-up when you first click it.
So, if you got a day where you sitting in the house, and you can go run out and get some rice or whatever, just go do it. Or if you
while it's cheap and while you got the means to.
Yes. So to give you a little boost, just sit and think about you eating some shit. That'll give you a boost. So
for that brother, the officer Mandela was talking to, where you said, well, let me get the words right. He said he doesn't have to prep because in that day I'm going to go and take it from Esau. We're going to show you an example of what you're going to be eating if you don't start preparing. And one, you're not even moving in the right spirit saying that. And two, you're not getting anywhere near Esau.
No, they going to be taking bullets.
Yeah.
From Esau.
And Esau going to eat you.
Exactly.
You're going to be Esau's food.
Dinner is served. Scientists turn human waste into food.
So this is from January 2018. So one thing. First of all, we know if that's 5 years old, they've been perfected that. Second of all, whenever Esau puts anything machine-wise or technology or science-wise out in the news, they've been, we behind the curve whenever it hits the media.
The good news, we're recycling in space. The bad news, it's a little stomach churning. Astronauts could be reusing their own waste for food before you know it. The good news is that scientists have found a way to reduce, reuse, and recycle up in space by saving room on space shuttles and conserving energy in International Space Station. The bad news is that it involves a crap load of crap, human feces to be specific. And in an interesting move that we're really not sure anybody asked for, scientists have developed a method of turning human waste into edible, sustainable, space-friendly food. The method involves filtering the waste until all that is left are proteins and fat. The resulting product is a microbial goo made of all the essentials necessary for extended space travel.
Chocolate pudding.
Hey, give me that in Job real quick. Who can't get a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Job 14? 14 and 4.
Yes, sir. The book of Job, chapter 14, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
So, we know this is the Bible is filled with so many rhetorical questions, and this is one of them. Who, meaning can anybody on this earth bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing?
Not one.
Meaning nobody. No way in hell can they take poop and make it clean enough for you to eat. This is not possible. If it came from poop, it's of poop.
And then they want to use the word protein.
Try to make it sound
good.
Yeah, like it's good for you.
Try to make it sound like it's good.
Yeah. Oh, my proteins, my amino acids. Damn.
I need a protein shake.
Damn.
Let me squeeze one out.
But sadly, some people, a lot of survival stories people talk about where they drank their piss and they ate their poop because they had no food. So that's why it's so serious to prepare, because you don't know what you're gonna do when you're faced with 4 days no food, 3 days no water, a week no water. Well, a week no water, you're gonna be down bad. You can survive longer without food than you can water, but eventually you might start hallucinating. You might think that's something good. Cue up that video.
How about a piece de resistance? Back bottom, gristle lumps.
So, hold on, pause it real quick. So in this video, they were eating like pickled pig feet and like hog pickled everything you can think of. It was pickled eggs, all that. They was having a competition, and so at the end, I'm gonna let y'all watch. Go ahead.
Yep, I've eaten more exotic food than that. How about a piece de resistance? Back bottom, gristle lumps.
Special of the house.
Practically nobody.
Notice the name back bottom.
Those on the menu. Yeah.
Oh, these are good.
These are new.
These are good.
The bad ones.
These are mine.
No way.
No, I'm doing it. Come on,
Damn, they fighting. Pause it. Pause it.
He's fighting.
Them Bama's fighting for the unclean food.
But nah, he know what it is. He pretending.
Oh, so okay.
He pretending, but yeah.
The name give it away.
Gristle lump, come on now. Oh yeah, there you go now. That's a nice one. Just some gristle lumps. Gristle lump you want, gristle lump you got. I got your gristle lump. Savor the flavor. You got some hot sauce to go with that too.
Got him.
I did it. Yes, right, you sure did. Yep. I did it.
You did it. He got his protein for the day.
I did it. man, this is my life. Boy, you just ate some shit.
What?
You just ate some human shit. Human shit? Why would you
You got Esau laughing him out.
What?
Damn.
Why would you call human shit? That's affirmative action. Yeah. You people are sick. That's the first time
you can cut it.
Get a Jake wrong, man. Get Proverbs 6 and 6, and then get me to get that Snowpiercer video ready.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard.
So the Most High talking to us. He says, look at the way of the ants. Let's look at what they do. Look at how they prepare.
Consider her ways, and be wise.
And be wise. If you look at the ants, they're always preparing and storing. And they follow order. They follow their orders until the day that they die. Their structure, and if one ant goes off, there's another one's gonna follow right behind and just follow that order. They're gonna build up they cupboard or whatever they call it for. Where they build up, and they're gonna build their nest up because their job is to feed the queen. So they're always storing food. That's why you see them. They got that train. They got that what's it called when you have a line? Not a caravan. The word for like when you work a conveyor belt. Assembly line. Thank you. They have an assembly line going. Like you ever you might have spilled some sauce in your house or whatever. You come back later. You see they got assembly line going from that stain all the way outside, and it's rotating and rotating and rotating. Read.
Verse 7. Which having no guide.
They're born. They know what to do when they're born. They don't got the scriptures like we do. They don't got the what's given to us by leadership. They're not getting taught every day. They don't have Sabbath classes. They don't have that stuff, but we do.
Overseer. Or ruler.
But what do they do without those things?
Provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest.
So they're always preparing. So during the harvest season, they storing up. In the summertime, they good to eat. Keep reading.
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard?
So how long are you not going to prepare? How long are you going to not follow what the scriptures are saying, the Most High is telling you to do? How long are you going to ignore what leadership is telling you?
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
So when are you going to wake up? When are you going to start taking action on what you need to do?
Yet a little sleep.
I'll do it tomorrow.
A little slumber.
I'll do it next week.
A little folding of the hands to sleep.
I'm going to wait till tax season.
So shall thy poverty come as
So shall thy famine come.
Come as one that travaileth. And thy want as an armed man.
So when that famine comes, it's going to hit you like a brick, and you're not going to know what's coming. Play that video, the Snowpiercer video.
So that's how it's made.
Hey, pause it.
Ooh,
so the backstory in this movie, the earth had basically frozen over, and the last of humanity was living on the train. So they in famine, they in poverty, and there were different classes set up on the train. So this is in the back of the train where all the poor people are at, where all the people that weren't fancy, they didn't have great big jobs, they weren't important, they didn't have money. They're put in the back of the train, and they sleep in the area, use the bathroom, and live all in the same area. They all live together, almost. Not as bad as us in the slave ships, but it was meant to represent that, having bunkers next to each other. That was meant to represent. And they still feeding them. Let's see what they're giving them. They protein bars.
Wow, look at them all. And you do some nice work. That's right, man. There's your food. There's your protein blocks.
Yeah, man, protein blocks. That's some nice work. Let's see inside the protein blocks. Damn. All them bugs and roaches and rodents and everything on the train that they was finding. They stopped there. Damn. That's the protein blocks they was eating. So, brothers and sisters, if you're not prepping or preparing, you're gonna end up eating a lot of unclean and unabominable foods if you don't prepare. Let's jump to 2nd Ezra 16. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 18. And then you can get that TikTok video ready with the Edomite.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 18.
The
beginning of sorrows.
So we know the beginning of sorrows.
And great mournings.
What shall be the beginning of those?
The beginning of famine.
The beginning of the famines that's to come.
And great death.
And not regular death, great death is to come in this nation.
The beginning of wars.
We already see wars popping off here and there.
and the power shall stand in fear.
Uh-huh.
The beginning of evils.
So if you thought America was evil already, there's more evils to come. Way more evils to come.
What shall I do when these evils shall come?
So what are we supposed to do when these evils come? Keep reading.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Mm-hmm.
But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness.
Damn, read that again.
But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness.
So even with all these things, some of our people are still not going to repent at all. So read the top of 18 again.
Verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings.
So the beginnings of sorrows and great mournings. Play that video because it's a lot of signs of the beginning of these things where it comes to supply chain breakdowns, whether it's because people are getting fired, whether it's because they don't have the fuel to do it, whether because they might be getting fried because of the mandates. Because you're not vaccinated, you might not be able to have a job. You might not be able to work. So you might be face a famine before the famine even really hits. Because you weren't prepared, because you lost your job, because you didn't. We might get blocked for that shit. Because you didn't get the jab. Because you didn't get the jab. Let me say that. Remember my terminology. Play that video.
Guys, it's been a minute since I've done an update about Canada, so here we go. Things are not good here. Shit is getting very messy. So Trudeau, which is our prime minister, has fired, I think, as of a couple hours ago, it was like 72,000 truckers who refuse to get vaccinated.
72 what? Play it
because
again.
If they don't get...
Yeah, played that again. And Justin, the Trudeau dude, he's been putting a lot of lockdowns. Like a lot of our brothers and sisters haven't been able to come to men's conference or the Passover because they locked the country down. If you don't got that paperwork, you're not leaving the country. So this is one of the many things that they're doing up there, which we know eventually is going to happen here in America too, because they right above us. Hit play.
Which is our prime minister has fired, I think, as of a couple hours ago, it was like 72,000 truckers.
And that's happened in Australia too.
Who refuse to get vaccinated. Because if they don't get vaccinated, they're not allowing them to cross the border from the U.S. to Canada and vice versa. So our food supply, a lot of it is U.S. grown. Obviously, we can't grow oranges, things like that. They got to come from Florida. So, yeah, he's fired a ton of truck drivers. Our grocery stores are currently being cleaned out. People are stockpiling because they're terrified, which, I mean, you can understand why. Yeah, so that is the state of my country right now. We're scared. Canadians we're in trouble. We're terrified. And any person that says that I'm being dramatic, I will insert pictures along with this video and you can understand exactly where I'm coming from. But Canada is in big trouble. So if you have prayers, if you had good juju, if you have anything that you can send our direction.
So Esau relying on that because they don't got the scriptures. So that's why I see you relying on good juju.
Our grocery stores are emptying as we speak. So
I told you Esau take everything. They stealing that from Ham and Benjamin.
This is in Napanee.
Even the witchcraft they got
from my home.
Steal.
It's scary. This is in a store called No Frills, which is basically like our cheaper level grocery store in Ontario. Yeah, so it's bad. I think that, at this point we need to...
Go back to 2nd Ezra 16 and 21. So this first part of 21 is what we should all be taking advantage of while we can.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth.
Behold, victuals shall be what?
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth.
So we got Restaurant Depot, we got Walmart, we got Shoppers, we got Web Restaurant. We got a lot of websites and stores which they're dwindling, but they still have stuff that we can buy for a good, affordable price before this inflation really hits. Yeah, chicken wings went up. Yeah, certain things went up, but it's going to get worse. So us complaining about the price now of chicken wings is not going to be comparable.
Actually, I think the chicken wings, I think my wife, she went and got some chicken wings. They went down.
They went down again?
Right now. So they went down right now.
So if that's anything like crypto in the stock market, what's going to happen next? It's going to go right back up.
$200.
Keep reading.
that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Yeah, so that they shall think themselves to be in good case. So, okay, I'm always going to have McDonald's. I'm always going to have Dollar Tree. I'm always going to have X, Y, and Z, or whatever people go to. It's always going to be there.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
And even then, when we think we good, evils are going to grow upon the earth.
Sword, famine, and great
so war, famine,
and great confusion.
Because people aren't going to know what the hell to do in that time. When you got Sodomites running wild, you got civil unrest, you got Edomites killing Edomites. You got Jacob's gonna try to steal more. They're gonna go run to the Apple store. They're gonna run to the Nike store.
Purge.
You purge, yeah. But the things people are gonna be stealing in the beginning is not gonna be things that they need. They're gonna go for the vain things. While Esau's gonna be going to the Home Depots, going to the surplus stores,
the gun shops,
going to the gun shops. Yep, that's what they're gonna be getting. Keep reading.
Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth
many of the people that dwell upon the earth
shall perish of famine.
Are going to die of famine. A lot of our people are going to die from famine.
And the
people who don't die of famine, who might have prepared, who might have had some stuff where they stored us some good stuff.
That escape the hunger.
That we escape the hunger.
Shall the sword destroy.
Some of us going to be killed by our enemies, whether they be the enemies of our people or the enemies of the other nations. Keep reading.
And the dead shall be cast out as dung. And there shall be no man to comfort them.
Why?
For the earth shall be wasted.
For the earth is going to be wasted. It's going to be a war-torn country, or war-torn cities.
And the cities shall be cast down.
So America, y'all look at videos of Venezuela, of Haiti. That's what America is going to look like. Thus saith the Lord. Keep reading.
Verse 24. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it.
All right, jump to verse 67. Hold on, 67. 68.
Verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you.
So again, a lot of these plagues and curses is not just the unrepented who the famine and the killing by sword is going to happen to. It's going to happen to us as well.
And they shall take away certain of you.
So certain of us are gonna be taken.
And feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols.
And they're gonna try, just like in the Maccabees, how some of us were going along with it, some of us were forced it. We're gonna eat unclean things, and we're gonna be committing abominations.
And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden under foot.
Keep reading.
For there shall be in every place.
For what?
And in the next cities.
No, for what?
For there shall be in every place.
So in every place, so there's nowhere where we can hide from the afflictions or the prophecies to come.
And in the next cities.
And in the next cities.
A great insurrection.
A great insurrection.
Upon those that fear the Lord.
Upon those that fear the Lord. So just like when Jerusalem was sacked, just like 70 AD, just like 1619. There's no way to escape the prophecies of the Bible. We can't escape the word of God. Everything that he said is, and is going to happen. Keep reading.
Verse 71. They shall be like mad men.
So the people that are chasing us are going to be like mad men.
Sparing none. But still spoiling and destroying.
So even though it's a famine, nobody got food, they don't got clothes, what are they still going to be doing?
But still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
So coming out to the commandment keepers. They're going to be coming directly after us. They're going to see your fringes. They're going to see y'all dressed in head wraps. And they're going to say, hey, those them Israelites, let's get them. Let's F them up. And you think it's going to be Esau. Now, that's going to be Jake too. We're going to show you. Keep reading.
Verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods.
So people are going to try to waste and take away our stuff.
And
your food, your house, your clothing, your wife.
And cast them out of their houses.
And cast us out of our houses. So how do we know in that day that it's going to be our own people betraying us? Go to 2 Maccabees. 2 Maccabees 1:41. Let's see. How do we know our people are going to turn on us? First Maccabees, thank you. 1:41.
First Maccabees?
Yeah.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote.
So in today's day, Barack Obama and Joe Biden
wrote to his whole kingdom
Uh-huh.
that all should be one people.
So back then, that was the beginning of Christianity and democracy, that we should fall under their laws, fall under their rules, their regulations, and forget what the Most High taught us. And that's what happened here in America, and is happening. That's why a lot of our people are entrenched by that democratic mindset, and we're like zombies. Like growing up, if you didn't believe in the Democrats or voted Democrats, that's what they are. You are racist and you hate your people. And now if you don't vote, it's like, oh, you don't vote, your voice don't count. I'm like, bro, your voice don't count. Votes don't matter. That's literally, that's like, I wish I could have it. It was a meme video when, you know that meme when they show two kids, like an older brother and little brother playing a video game, and the little brother think he's doing something like, yeah, I'm having fun. And you look at the console, it's unplugged. He think he's not even in the game. He's so dumb and so immature that he thinks he's playing the game, but the whole time the brother's just fooling him. That's how Esau fools us with the political party system. You think you're in the game, but you're not. Not at all. You are the game. Jump to. Keep reading.
Verse 42. And every one should leave his laws.
So all of us had to leave our laws.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
So Esau, he had all the other heathen nations on lock. They was like, all right, we got you. We're going to do it.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Yea, many also of our people consented to his religion. So we went along with it too, without force. We instantly turned like, yep, I'll eat pork. I'll pray to Zeus. I'll pray to Jupiter. Yep. Yes, sir, boss. Keep reading.
And sacrificed unto idols.
And sacrificed unto idols. So we sacrificed unto Jupiter, unto Zeus, unto Hercules, unclean animals in the temple.
And profaned the Sabbath.
And we broke the Sabbath, doing all type of wicked things, orgies, whatever on the Sabbath day, buying and selling, cooking.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Jump to 46.
Verse 46. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Okay, so let's jump to 2 Maccabees. Let's see, after a little bit of time, after a couple of years, let's see what our people was doing and if all of us consented. 2 Maccabees 6 and start at verse 6.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts.
So it was against the law for us to wear fringes, to keep the Sabbath day, to keep Passover, to keep Feast of Dedication, to keep Pentecost tabernacles. That was against their laws that they set up.
Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Or to even say we a Jew. That was against the law. You say you're a Jew, you're getting put to death. And that didn't just happen then. That happened in the Inquisition, and it's going to happen again here in the States, here in America, and in the other countries. So that's when a lot of people's faith are going to be tested. Are you going to deny Christ, or are you going to say, yeah, I'm an Israelite, and take whatever punishment comes with it? What are you going to do in that day? Jump to verse 8.
Verse 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen.
So when a decree, meaning this was stamped, this was law.
By the suggestion of Ptolemy, against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions.
So y'all got to be like us.
And be partakers of their sacrifices.
And sacrifice what we sacrifice. Keep reading.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles.
So who wouldn't conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles? This is how we started even though we got out of Egypt's clutches, under Rome and under Greece, we started getting back under them again. Because they just took a lot of customs from Egypt and forced it on us again. And we conformed to those methods, to those ways, and to those lifestyles, and to their cultures.
Should be put to death.
We should be put to death. Now, what I said about Jake taking our houses, jump down to verse 11, and then get the 1492 book ready.
Yes, sir. Verse 11. And others that had run together into caves nearby.
So there were still writers of our people who said, F that. I'm not profaning the Sabbath. I'm not eating swine's flesh. I'm not sacrificing to other gods. We're gonna get together and keep the Sabbath, which is what a lot of us are gonna have to do when this affliction hits, when this famine hits.
To keep the Sabbath day secretly.
So we're gonna keep the Sabbath day secretly. So if they're keeping the Sabbath day secretly, that means everybody doesn't know about it. Only a select group of people knew about this Sabbath day gathering.
Being discovered to Philip.
Read the first part again.
and others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly.
So it was a secret, a message that was given to a select amount of Israelites who was supposed to come keep the Sabbath day.
Being discovered to Philip.
So now an Edomite knows about it.
We're all burnt together.
We're all burned together. Somebody snitched. Somebody in that group snitched to the white man. Hey, they keeping the laws. These Israelites, they're not sacrificing to Zeus. They still praying to the Most High God. They still think their God is in charge. Somebody within their group snitched on them to the damn white man. Keep reading.
Because they made a conscience to help themselves.
So because those brothers and sisters made a conscience
to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day.
Because in their conscience, they knew we gotta keep these laws, even if death is gonna come. So you know what Esau does? He don't always get his hands dirty. He sends us to do his dirty work, just like in life. Where was I at? Gun line boss. Just like in the same, he uses us to keep our people in check. You said what? Damn. Yeah, that's from me. Yeah, Black Panthers. Go to 1492, page 29.
Yes, sir.
Let's see examples of what happened in Spain.
The other 1492, page 29. Yet as the Inquisitors entered Seville for the first time.
So Inquisitors, they were used and sent to find out who among these people were Jews or Jewish, what they used to call us too. Because they wanted everybody to be Christians. You had to be a Catholic. You had to, whatever, the queen at the time, Queen Elizabeth, whoever was in charge at that time, you had to follow that religion on down.
They were grandly received in a splendid official procession. With the ceremonies over, it was time for the tribunal members to begin their holy work. Their job was to search out and punish Judaizers.
Their job what?
Their job was to search out and punish Judaizers.
So their only job was to find Israelites and punish us. That was their only job. And this was in Spain. This was when we were in Spain when this happened.
Those who showed even the slightest sign of supporting or observing a Jewish law, custom, or tradition. The Inquisitors began by setting a trap. They invited any guilty Marrano.
So this is how they first started it, was inviting people who were already convicted of being a Jew, being an Israelite. They said, hey, come on, man, let's talk about this.
To come forward and confess with no fear of punishment.
Come forward. Nothing's going to happen to you, man. We got you. Just admit that you're a Jew. Admit you were friends and want to keep the Sabbath day. It will be fine.
Once those unfortunates presented themselves,
Once those unfortunates, because you can never trust an enemy. We can't trust what Esau says. All that crap was a trap.
Once those unfortunates presented themselves, they received a surprise demand.
Damn. Let's see what the demand was.
Provide the Inquisition with the names of friends.
Turn to your friends or your family.
And relatives. Who might also be Judaizers.
Damn.
Or go to jail.
Let's see. Is there more?
Yeah.
See what our people did.
From that moment on, there was no lack of victims for the Inquisition.
From that moment on, there was no lack in victims. That means every day, snitches was rolling our people. Like every day, jails full, people on crosses, people getting burned alive. So they had Israel, our people do the job for him. Esau rarely gets his hands dirty. He uses us to do his dirty work for him.
But you know what? In those times, that's the time right there where we should have the do not snitch. That's the time we shouldn't snitch. You know what I'm saying? If you're in front of them, take your lumps.
And to be honest, they're not snitches. They're traitors. That's what they are. They're traitors. And get me that in what's that in Matthew? Hold on, Matthew, do it as you do unto your brothers, you do unto me. What did Christ say? What's it? 19? No. See if you can find that for me. Where's that? 20. No, it's not there. 25? Yeah, Matthew 25 and verse. It's not the one I wanted. I think it's another one in Luke. We'll read that for now.
The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of these of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Read it again.
Verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them,
So this is the parable.
Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren.
So anything evil or good that we do to our brethren or our sisters,
ye have done it unto me.
With the same thing you do unto Christ. So that's why loving your neighbor as you love yourself is so important, man. Treating your brothers right, treating your wife right, wife's treating your husband right is so important, because when you commit sin against your brothers and sisters, you commit sin against Christ. When you kill your brother, you killing Christ. When you hate your brother, you hating Christ. All right, go back. Where was we at?
The 1492.
Yeah, go back to that book.
Judaizing was a difficult crime to detect. The Inquisitors had a law passed which listed over 30 ways.
So it was hard to detect because we found ways of hiding amongst them and not giving away who we were.
Over 30 ways to recognize the guilty.
So this is the ways that they had listed. They did a diligent search. This is how we find out who the Jews are.
Here are a few of the telltale signs. Number 1, celebrating the Sabbath by wearing a clean shirt.
So wearing clean clothes was a sign that you were Israelite. That's what we know Esau was dirty.
Not lighting a fire, or not working.
So not lighting a fire to cook on the Sabbath days.
Or not working. Number 2, eating meat during Lent.
So eating meat during Lent, because with Catholics, they don't eat any meat during that 40 days, and they put that ash on their forehead. They don't eat meat during that day. So they saw us eating meat. Hey, you ain't no Catholic. You know it's Lent, right? Why are you eating meat? That's another telltale sign. Keep reading.
A Christian period of fasting.
Us fasting, us keeping Day of Atonement, real fasting, that was a telltale sign.
Verse 3. Number 3. Not eating or drinking on the Jewish Day of Atonement.
So not eating and drinking on Day of Atonement. That's how they knew.
Number 4.
So somebody come up to you, your buddy from a couple years ago comes up to you, hey, and he knows you're Israelite. Hey, you want some of this beer? You want some of this ale? And you turn it away. He's gonna nod, look at the Inquisitor. This is him. Turn your ass in, just like the kiss, just like the kiss from Judas. And for y'all don't know, a shalom, a hug. He didn't actually physically Christ. That's what a lot of Christians use that, and they use with David and Jonathan to try to say that homosexuality was approved or was good in the Bible. A kiss was like a greeting, a shalom.
Number 4, washing hands before praying. Number 5.
So that's not actually a law in the Bible, but that's something that the Pharisees were doing. They had the washing of the hands and the arms of the cups, so that was still a giveaway.
Number 5, blessing a cup of wine before eating.
So praying before we eat.
Number 6, not eating pork.
So not eating pork. So that's why almost every food you try to buy somehow has some type of pork in it. No matter where you go, it's like it'll be we got some broccoli. We got bacon bits in it. You want a salad, bacon bits. You want a baked potato, bacon strips and bacon bits. Like they try to force it in everything that doesn't even need pork. Like even those little gelatin candies. Like they can make those with fruit juice. Like they can make that with actual liquids from fruit, but they choose to put pork fat in it. Gummy bears, all that. Keep going.
Number 7.
We almost done.
Giving Old Testament names to children.
Naming your children after the prophets, after the foremothers. I'll go to page 30.
Yes, sir. Page 31. Not only Moranos, but many practicing Christians were accused simply for doing something that appeared Jewish in nature.
Anything appeared to be Jewish, we was dinged on. Keep going.
One woman was turned over to the Inquisition when she set a white cloth on her dinner table.
Damn.
On a Friday evening.
Yeah, because Friday evening, what's that mean? The Sabbath is upon us. The sun is setting, Sabbath coming. So let's see how bad it was. Keep going.
Jealous relatives informed on each other.
So your family members who might be mad at you because you in the truth, you might be doing better than them. They might think, oh, you think you're better than me because you're keeping the commandments. You're like, no, I want you to do the same thing too. I don't think I'm better than you. I just want you to repent. Because that's what a lot of your family members will say. They'll say you're uppity. They'll say you're a Bible thumper. They'll say you're over-righteous. You're more righteous than thou. Just because you want to teach them to do right by God. That's their own guilt that's making them feel guilty because they know they in sin and they wrong. That's why they feel that way.
Disgruntled servants on their masters.
Disgruntled servants. So people that might work for you if you have a company. Keep going.
Students on their teachers.
Uh-huh. Damn.
Sometimes acting out of conscience and sometimes out of revenge.
So sometimes because they were scared that they might get caught or they might get seen with you, and also out of revenge too, out of hatred.
Official Inquisition spies called confidants.
Official. So they had the sash and everything.
Were everywhere. Damn. They sneaked through the narrow streets of Marano neighborhoods.
So you inside your house with your family, setting the dinner table at. You got people walking through the back alleyways, doing what?
And peeked into windows.
They peeping in your houses. They was peeping in houses just to find. They was going out of their way to find their own people to turn them in.
They listened to shop gossip and questioned servants.
So they in the barbershop listen to you talk about we the Israelites, and they're going to remember that. They're going to be like, okay, that brother, he got cut by brother Jeremiah. So when they come for me, I'm going to tell them Jeremiah knows where them Jews are at. Keep reading.
They were particularly active on Friday evenings.
They were particularly active on Friday evenings because they know that's when we keep in the Sabbath.
And on Saturdays, the Jewish Sabbath.
And on the Sabbath. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to get a couple more scriptures. Get the Donald Duck video. We'll leave one more visual with y'all. There's going to be a lot of Israel in that day. A lot of Israel.
Things started to look pretty bad all over the place. Everything was drying up. The fields of golden corn turned to dust. The babbling brook babbled no more. To think that this was once Happy Valley. Ooh, now it looked more like Gruesome Gulch. Anyway, days pass, weeks pass, and now in the whole kingdom there was nothing but peasants. Well, suppose we look in on some of these here peasants. This isn't a peasant, naturally. This is a cow. She used to be a good milker, but now she's an utter failure.
It's the brothers that didn't prepare properly.
Anyhow, there they are, three poor, miserable peasants gripped by the pangs of starvation. Still alive, still kicking, sharing a pitiful crust between them. Share and share alike, sharing and staring and staring and sharing and sharing. But are their spirits broken? Have they lost hope? You bet they have, because they are facing starvation. There's nothing left but beans. Beans? What am I saying? I mean bean. Now, if it were one man and 3 beans, well, but no, 1 bean and 3 men. Well, anyway, one nice thing, there are no bones in it. Just look at that miserable duck. Nothing but a bag of bones and feathers. Truly a picture of despair.
The bread like tracing paper.
Despairing duck. But Donald doesn't whimper. Donald doesn't give up. Shut up! I can't stand
Brothers and sisters gonna be losing their minds when they get hungry. Them grab a Snickers commercials gonna turn into reality. Grab a Snickers to grab a human leg.
He says he's all right in a pig's eye. He suffered too much. What's this? What diabolical thought is being hatched in the brain of this poor demented duck? No! No, no!
So that cow was the last for any type of drink with the milk. If you kill the cow, you got no more milk.
Poor Donald. Anyway, Mickey decided to sell the cow. So now there would be meat on the table again. Hey, whoa.
Pause it. That's not gonna happen. All right. Where we at? Get Job. I guess Sirach 11 and 25. So we gotta make sure we enjoy the times we can now with our brethren in the school, keeping our high holy days. Because just like Deacon brought up last week, it's not always gonna be like that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 11, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
So in prosperity, when you got that raise, you proving that sister, you got married, you got the car, you got the job, you got the shoes you wanted, or whatever people like. Everybody has different stuff that they like that make them feel good, make them feel better, happy to have it or get it, whatever.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
There's no remembrance. So when you up high in life, you forget the days that when you was down and out, when you had no car, when you was taking the bus, when you was because you couldn't afford to take Uber, so you had to take the bus. When maybe you had to walk to the train station because you had to save your money only for the Metro Pass. You forget those days when you're good. And when you are going through affliction, sometimes a lot of times we forget what the Most High God has done for us. So read that again.
Verse 25. And in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
Uh-huh.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
Keep reading.
Verse 26. For it is an easy thing.
This is an important thing.
For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways.
So it's an easy thing for the Most High God when we die, if we was faithful and endured to the end, to what? Reward her?
To reward a man according to his ways.
To reward a man according to his ways, according to how we lived. Keep reading.
The affliction of an hour maketh a man to forget pleasure.
Uh-huh.
And in his end, his deeds shall be discovered.
So whether them deeds be evil or good, it's all going to be discovered. And it's going to be brought out. Jump to 1 Samuel 2 and 3. Actually, 2 and 6. All right, 2 and 6.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
The Lord killeth and maketh alive.
Mm-hmm.
He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
So we know the Most High God controls good and evil, wealth and poorness. He controls all that.
The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich.
Uh-huh.
He bringeth low and riseth up.
Mm-hmm.
He raiseth up the poor out of the dust.
He what?
He raiseth up the poor out of the dust.
Keep reading.
And lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill.
Uh-huh.
To set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them.
Read verse 9.
Verse 9, he will keep the feet of his saints.
So he will keep the feet of his saints, meaning what? He's going to take care of the commandment keepers. So even if you do have to go through affliction, you have to go through famine, some of us are going to get put to death. Whatever affliction is going to come your way, you have to know in the end that you will be rewarded for the good deeds that you did, for you enduring until the end. That's what's going to get you through. That's what got the mother in 2 Maccabees 7 and the sons through. All them children. So when this story starts, it only starts with the mother and the sons. So we know that she was a righteous mother, meaning from what we read, meaning what? She was married. But you don't hear about the pops there. So most likely, he was probably put to death right before that happened. So all those kids probably saw their father put to death. He might have died in war. I'm not sure how he got put to death, but he might have got put to death right in front of them. And they still said, no, we're not eating that pork. We're not gonna pretend to eat it. We're gonna keep God's laws until we die. Keep reading.
And the wicked shall be silent in darkness.
But those of us who want to go ahead and eat the swine, pretend to eat the swine, at that day, that's you're not enduring to the end, or are gonna sacrifice into idols, or gonna praise Zeus, or gonna turn your brothers and become traitors, turn your sisters in. That's not doing that will wipe away all the good works you've done. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 7 and I'll skip. Go to Proverbs 8:36. 10:20. Okay. Actually, drop that. Get Baruch 2. and Revelation 21, last two scriptures. 2 and 28. 2 and 28. So we got to make sure that our spirits are right, our pantries are right, our families are right. We right with the Most High God. We right with our brothers, our sisters, our husband, our wife. We move in the right way among the heathen too, because that's the law too. We got to be 360 all around. We got to be keeping these laws.
The book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 28. As thou spakest by thy servant Moses, in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel.
When we were all given the commandments.
Saying, if ye will not hear my voice.
If we won't hearken and listen and do the commandments.
Surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations.
And we were scattered among all nations across the four corners of the earth.
Where I will scatter them.
Because we didn't want to keep the commandments. And that happened. That was prophesied, and that happened to our people.
For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
So we were stiff-necked then. Please, Israel, do not be stiff-necked now with what the Most High is showing us, with what the deacons and bishops are bringing out, what's in the news. Don't avoid and ignore the signs and say, oh, I'm going to get a next paycheck. I'm going to get a taxes. It's not here yet. No man knows the time. You're right. We don't know the time. So we got to prepare like it might happen tomorrow.
But in the land of their captivities.
But in the land of our captivities, wherever that is.
They shall remember themselves.
We shall remember who we are. That's what we read last week in Ezekiel 37. Them dry bones coming to life. The spiritual famine is getting lesser and lesser and lesser. And we're getting spiritually fed.
And shall know that I am the Lord their God.
And acknowledge the Most High God as the only God. The God of Israel. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
For I will give them an heart and ears to hear.
He will give us a heart, meaning our mind and ears to understand what's being brought out. And we won't be blind to it anymore.
And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity.
Whether we're in America, whether we're in Australia, Japan, Russia, New Guinea, wherever we're at.
And think upon my name.
And think upon his name and think upon these laws and commandments.
And return from their stiff neck. And from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers.
We shall remember, Romans 15:4. Remember the ways of our fathers.
Which sinned before the Lord.
Remember the ones that sinned before the Lord. Learn from their examples.
And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto them.
So, verse 34, that's a big jump right there. From 33 to 34 is us first learning where Israel, 34 till after the trials and tribulations and after the wilderness. That's a big future jump right there. But that's the goal that we all want to get to. We want to make it through. We want to make it through the famine. We want to make it through the insurrection, through the betrayal and all that stuff. We want to make it through and endure. And making it through could still mean you're getting put to death, or getting tortured, dying of starvation, dying of dehydration. But as long as you endure and keep the laws until the end, you made it through. Just like I said in Sirach 11:25, you're going to be rewarded for your deeds. It's an easy thing for the Most High God to reward you once you die. Keep reading.
Verse 34. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers.
Which is Jerusalem.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's the patriarch. Those are our forefathers.
And they shall be lords of it.
And we shall be ruling there.
And I will increase them.
And we're gonna keep multiplying.
And they shall not be diminished.
And we're not going to be diminished.
And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God. And they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
I jumped to Revelation 21. So that's a promise that the Most High gave to us. And everything that he said so far came to happen. So we know that is going to come to fruition too. All of that is bound to happen just in the Most High's time. That's why we have to endure until the end. Not until we feel like it. Not until it gets hard. Not until it gets tough. Not until we lose a family member. Not until we lose a loved one. Until the end. 21, and let's start at verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem.
So that's how we know in Baruch. It's talking about Jerusalem. After all them damn Amalekites and all the Ishmaelites are out of our land, once that gets cleansed thoroughly, and you know Christ is going to do that cleansing.
Coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Keep reading.
I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them.
So at that time, now the Most High God is going to be dealing with us.
And
because the people that make it here, these are the people, is going to be the 1/3 and the 144,000 leaders, the ones who survived, who survived through and during all of Esau's torments, who are going to make it through the wilderness, and who are going to be raising up, who might be raised from the dead during that time too. The ones that endured till the end, who are already sealed, and who are going to be sealed. That's the ones who what?
And they shall be his people.
Those are the ones that's going to be the Most High God's people.
And God himself shall be with them.
Damn. So it says, and God himself shall be with them. So we're going to be in the kingdom of heaven, Lord's will, with the Most High God in Christ. Damn. Keep reading.
And be their God.
And he will be our God again.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
And God's going to wipe away all the tears from our eyes, from all the affliction and pain and suffering we had to go through.
And there shall be no more death.
We're not going to die no more.
Neither sorrow.
We're not going to be sad no more.
Nor crying.
No, we're not going to be no crying no more either. Unless tears of joy. Unless you laughing so hard, you start tearing from your eyes.
Neither shall there be any more pain.
So sisters, you pop out 20, 30, 40 babies. It's going to be like nothing. You're not even going to feel it. Another one. Keep reading.
For the former things are passed away.
So the former things, all the sin, the evil, the wickedness, these fleshly meatbag bodies, Esau ruling, the heathens ruling, us going through torment, all that's going to be passed away, and we're going to be with our God and with our brethren who kept the commandments and endured until the end. And that's the goal we want to get to. So to get to that goal, we got to follow what leadership has been putting out. They're putting out stuff for our learning. They're putting out stuff where the scriptures is putting the spirit on them to teach. That's why in Luke 10, where it talks about not despising what we're saying, because if us and upper leadership are bringing out things that's in line with the scriptures, that's Christ and the Most High God speaking to you. And if you go against that, you're going against Christ and the Most High God. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.